Okay, in this video I got some practice problems for you to do, but I'm going to do a couple along with you. You got a polynomial here, 5a to the second power minus 3, and then another polynomial here, a to the second power minus 1, and you have to look for the operator, and it's plus. So you got letter A, so I put blank a down. Now, what's the highest power of the a's, too? I have a to the second and a to the second. So a to the second's the highest power. Plus blank a plus blank. So get in the habit of doing that. All right, now, for the a to the second, you go look at your a. You have an a to the second here. And then go look in your other polynomial. You have a to the second here. So we're going to take 5 plus 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. Okay, and after those have been added, we want to cross those out. Okay, now for regular a's, without a power, I don't have any, okay? In the whole problem, I don't have any in this polynomial, I don't have any in this polynomial. So I put 0. And when something ends up 0, that means that term is eliminated. You just cross it out. Okay, now we're looking for non-a, so I have a negative 3. Again, you have to get that as a negative 3 plus negative 1. So if I add negative 3 to negative 1, I get negative 4. Okay, and that is my answer. 13a to the second plus negative 4. Okay, and then another one I'm going to do for you is the last problem, number 8. Okay, b is the variable throughout this whole thing. We have a subtraction operation. So I go blank b. Now I got to look for the highest power that b is to. B to the third, b to the second, and b to the first. B to the second and b to the first. So b to the third's the highest, okay? Plus blank b to the second plus blank b plus blank. Okay, so in the first polynomial for b to the thirds, I have the 9b to the third, and I don't have any b to the thirds in here. So it's going to be 9 minus 0. Well, 9 minus 0 is 9, okay? And then we can cross that out. Now for b to the second, I have negative 13, and b to the second here, I've got negative 13. So negative 13 minus negative 13. Okay, that's 0, okay? Because it's like negative 13, don't write this down, but negative 13 minus negative 13 is like plus positive 13. So if you're at negative 13 towards the number line, you mean move 13 places towards 0. You're actually going to be at 0. Okay, so you can eliminate the b to the second. Okay, anytime we add 2 and they come to 0, and then cross those out. Okay, now we're looking for regular b's. I have a regular b here, and that would have a 1 in front. And I have a b right here, and that's negative 5. So I take positive 1 minus negative 5. And that's like 1 plus 5, and that's 6. So 6b. You can cross out the b's. Okay. Now right here, I don't have any other terms here, so I have 0. Okay, 0 minus, and then 14, positive 14. Well, that's negative 14. So that's what I have. 9b to the third plus 6b plus negative 14. Okay, you have to do all the 3 on this page and the 3 on that page, and I'll just do the rest of the examples. Okay, so in this right here, x is the variable. So I have x to the second, x to the first, x to the second, x to the first. So x to the second appears to be the highest exponent. Plus blank x plus blank. So for x to the second, in the first polynomial, I have 3x to the second. And then in the second polynomial, I have 2. So those are like terms. So 3 plus 2, that's easy, that's 5. Okay, then for x's, we have regular x here, that would have a 1, okay? And then another regular x here, that has a 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. And then for constants, now I'm looking for numbers that don't even have variables. I have a negative 4 and a negative 3. So I go negative 4 and then the plus negative 3. I got negative 7. So that is the answer. Okay, the next problem. 8c to the second minus 4c plus 1. That's your first polynomial. And then plus negative 3c to the second plus c plus 5. So the variable c, and the highest power it's to is the second. Plus, after the second comes blank c plus blank. You're not going to see c to the first. C means c to the first. Okay, so c to the seconds, I have 8c to the second and negative 3c to the second. We need to add those. So 8 plus negative 3 is 5. So I have 5c to the second. And we can eliminate those. Okay, now for regular c. Right here, negative 4. And right here, that would be a 1, positive 1. So I have negative 4. You got to remember the 4 is negative. Plus 1, and that gives me negative 3. Okay, now cross those out as soon as they've been added together. And then your constants. You have a positive 1 plus positive 5. Well, that's not hard math. That's 6. Okay, my next equation, we have a polynomial here, 10m to the second minus 7m plus 2. And then the subtraction's the operator. And then 3m to the second minus 2m plus 5. Okay, so my variable is m. And the highest power I see it to, m second, m second, m. So it'd be to the second. Plus blank m plus blank. Okay, so we need to look for m to the seconds. In the first polynomial, we have it right there, 10m to the second. Minus, in the second polynomial, we have m to the second here. Okay, so I take 10 minus 3. That's 7. Probably didn't need a calculator for that. Then we cross out those terms and forget about them. Okay, then regular m. We have a negative 7m and a negative 2m, so we'll be subtracting those. So negative 7 minus negative 2 is negative 5. Okay, now for my constants, I have a positive 2 minus a positive 5. So that's just 2 minus 5, and that would be negative 3. Okay, now on the back page, you got to open your eyes a little bit and look. We have 2x to the third minus 5x to the second plus x in the first polynomial. And then the plus is the operation. Then 2x to the second plus x to the third minus 1. So I have x to the third, x second, and x second, x third. That's it. So it appears to me that this time x to the third is the highest. Plus blank x to the second plus blank x plus the constant, okay? So x third, I have a 2x to the third, and then that's not x to the third, so you don't underline that, but you do have x to the third here. There'd be a 1 in front, okay? So I take 2 plus 1, and that's 3x to the third. Okay, now for x to the second, we have right here x second. Negative 5 is the coefficient. Here we have x to the second. Positive 2 is the coefficient. So I take negative 5 and add positive 2. That's negative 3. Okay, then we look for regular x. I have one here, and that's a positive 1 then. And I don't have any in this polynomial, so it's 1 plus 0. Okay, 1 plus 0 is 1. So that would be 1. Remember, if you don't have it in one of the polynomials, you treat it as a 0. Okay, and then for this one, constants, the only constant I have is here, so I treat this as a 0, okay, plus negative 1. That's negative 1. And that's your new polynomial. Okay, now the next one, the 4n to the second plus 5, that's the first polynomial, and then a subtraction operator, and then negative 2n to the second plus 2n minus 4, that's the second polynomial. So in the polynomial, the variable is n, okay? And you have n to the second, and then you have n to the second and n. So n to the second is my highest, plus blank n plus blank. Okay, so n to the second, in the first one I have 4n to the second, and then I have negative 2n to the second. So I take positive 4, and then it's a subtraction, and then negative 2. I get 6, because that's like 4 plus 2. And cross those out. Okay, now regular n's. I don't have any here, okay, so that's like a 0. So I'm going to punch 0 in. Minus, and then I got to look for n here, and it's positive 2. So 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Okay. Now for constants. Constants, I have a 5, positive 5, a minus, and in the second polynomial, I have the negative 4. So 5 minus negative 4. And that's 9. That's like 5 plus 4. Okay. Now in my next problem, negative 4m to the second plus 3m minus 1. Minus, and then another polynomial, m plus 2. So I have m to the second and m, and here I just have m. So blank m, the second is my highest power, plus blank m plus blank. So m to the second, I just have this right here, and I have nothing there, so it's negative 4, subtract, and then since I didn't underline anything, it'll be 0, okay, and that's negative 4. Okay, there we have it. Okay, now for my regular m's, I have a 3, and here's a regular m right here, okay, and that would be a 1, okay, so it'd be 3 minus 1, which is 2. And cross those out. Okay, now for your constants, you have a negative 1 and a positive 2, so that's negative 1 minus 2, negative 3. And my last example. Okay, the variable's m, so blank m. I have an m, an m to the second, and an m. So this is going to be m to the second is my highest. Then I'm going to look for regular m. Then I'm going to look for my constants. Okay, so m to the second, I don't have anything there, okay? Minus, and m to the second, I just have this 2. So we do have to do the math here. Since you didn't underline anything here, that's going to be 0, subtract 2. So negative 2 is the m to the second. Okay, now for the regular m, I have 3. The minus okay, hold on, I need to underline them first. We have 3m, and then I have m right here, negative 6. So I'll be taking positive 3 minus negative 6. It's like 3 plus 6, which is 9. Okay, so 9m. Remember, if you only underline one thing, it's going to be 0 and then the other number. Okay, now for my constants, I have a positive 4 and a positive 5, and we need to minus. Okay, so 4 minus 5 is negative 1. All right, and then you have the 6 to do, and I did 2 of them for you.